Welcome to another KIPS blog. My name is Tyler Valencia, president of KIPS. Today I have with me back John Oden, owner of Empowered Strength in Bend, Oregon. Today we're going to talk about the Turkish Get-Up and applying it to performance. Very recently, John shared on Facebook a link from Michael Willie talking about the Turkish Get-Up and how it applies to different types of rotational sports. And as John and I have spoke about on past vlogs, is how we both do the Highland Games, and him sharing that really triggered something in my mind. Very recently, just this gives a little insight into where I am in my Highland Games career. Is I just figured out what this whole left leg block is, and John will probably laugh at that since he's probably been doing the left leg block for years on different types of events in the Highland Games. But when I figured out that movement, it almost changed how I was throwing in different events. So this Turkish Get-Up video that Michael Willie showed, it really triggered that in my mind, how you can apply that to different rotational sports. And it almost brought up in a little bit of, you'll see on Instagram even, is Mike Boyle sharing different types of rotational exercises since he trains a lot of baseball athletes. We see different types of med ball throws or TRX work, and those types of items, when I implemented them last year in my Highland Games workouts, and I really saw the benefit of trying to get the Serape effect working, or even different types of rotation, which it really crosses over to our sport. So today John's going to go over the Turkish Get-Up, go through some cues for us, and this is really going to be great for any athlete or any trainer applying this to their, in honesty, any population. So go ahead, John, take it over.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. So just a lot of misconceptions, and Michael really broke this down, and people can reference that on Facebook, or I think it's also shared in a couple other spots too on my Facebook page as well. But just really a lot of misconceptions, things we can clean up and just really done well in our strong first system. As a strong first instructor myself, I really just take pride in the way the Get-Up is taught, and it's just so systematic and broken down well, just like a Olympic snatch or a deadlift, something like that. It has a lot of steps. What's nice is it can be done and should be done usually slowly. There's a lot of different, Rich, if you look at what Gray Cook talks about in the FMS system, he breaks it down, and it has all the components of the FMS. So it has all this mobility, stability, and it can be a great strength tool. And just that whole, like Michael references, that kinetic chain movement just really helps to infuse and just enrich our body with that kinetic chain that we want to apply to throwing, or basically any kind of sport or combination of movements that's just going to help our body. I consider it a great durability movement, rich in everything that our body needs to perform and move. Call it a core movement, whatever. It has all that stuff combined in as a simple, but again, misunderstood movement pattern too. So kind of break this down for you guys too, and we can get in. I'm just going to move my camera around here for a second. He's really heavy weight here for our demo. It's just 16 kilograms. Just kidding. So, see me there, okay?
All good.
So right here, you can just know we have the bell. We want to make sure we're sparing that rotator cuff, or we're coming across our body and able to rotate into position. The big part that we're going to talk about here is this rotational. See this really well. Component here where we drive the hip over. A lot of people will flex their body here. Look at this kind of flail they get up, and maybe not even apply the arm down here. We want to make sure that we're really driving over to start. So it's more of a, if we look at these developmental sequences and stuff too, it's more of a rolling over pattern to start. I say, hey, over is our first way too. You want to drive this hip over, or think more like a bridge. And then this leg is an extension as well. The next part is this arm on the opposite side. Drives down to the ground, like pulling and rowing pattern here as well. The upper bar obviously is just staying nice and stable, rooted in this brace position here. So just driving up, coming off of that arm. Show you the bell here. So that's a big area. And then actually getting down as well. People will just flop down to get out of that position too. All that flexion just becomes that crunching motion, which we know we don't want to do, especially as athletes. We don't want to do any of that flexion pattern where we're really just crunching in here. So that drive, if we compare that to our throw, is here. We're talking about that walk, coming in position here, and then that foot being hip drive through. You can see that same position here. What this arm is actually doing too is coming through and stopping that motion, walking. So we're able to transfer that force in the implement or obviously with the bell. We're going to just be able to stand. We're going to start coming up, getting up in that position as well, right? So hopefully that kind of breaks that up and gets rid of some of that confusion with that initial starting position. I don't know if you want me to go into anything more in depth with the breakdown of the get up and those specific positions and kind of like carry over to other things as well.
Oh yeah, and I know that you and I were briefly discussing before in that misconception right there, even how to start it. And more people will probably do just how you said, will do more of just shoving their arm into the ground or lifting from the chest to start it off. And
yeah,
I think I shared with you before we started this was how when I was in a PT setting, I was actually getting the PT done to me from an injury, and the PTA was showing me how to do the Turkish get-up, and her cues were quite not off, and bringing together the knowledge, you can almost see the difference between, going into that spinal flexion and the way that you showed it, how working that rotation right there, how much better the performance or even, the movement is, how much crisper it is. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we want to link that together. Linkage or leakage is the terms I like too. We don't want to leak that tension anywhere. We want to link it all together. We have, we're tying in our X. We have that cross body. One side's doing that communication between that upper and lower body, cross sectional. Call it anti-rotation. All that stuff we could go on with each part of the get-up. But I think it's great to just even talk about breakdown that first initial part once you find a big. And again, that lowering down and what the shoulder is doing here, this shoulder will become all, we call this pointy shoulder or unpacked shoulder versus that packed shoulder. And actually, both of them have to do a lot of stability there too. So that's an really easy part to miss. A lot of our instructors will fail on that part of the test too. We want the shoulder to be up here as they're driving down. Like, yeah, your lower body can be doing great things. We're not throwing or doing anything like this stuck in our shoulders right when we're throwing as well. Everything is nice and open and down too. So just supports all those good postural things, again, from a rehab all the way through the continuum to obviously high performance. We can use it as that tool. It just gives back so much when done well. Even when done poorly, I don't think it is a huge risk to a lot of people besides the bell, physically falling on their face kind of thing. But it really doesn't do much. I think a lot of, again, that misconception of people not valuing it haven't put in the time and use the tool appropriately. Again, if you use crappy form on Olympic lifts, it's not going to do a whole lot more either. We're going to be limited in strength. Things are going to start breaking down. Our body's just not going to be happy. Yeah, okay, the snatch isn't that bad. Yeah, it actually is, but it hasn't been taught using the tool well. We have a screwdriver and you didn't learn how to use it. You're using a flathead, you should use a Phillips or something like that. It's just the wrong tool for that job, not the optimal tool. Right?
Would you say when you are going into that lock, when you're locking out, when you're first starting right there, are you going to more external rotation or are you kind of keeping it?
It's actually driving in here as we're trying to pack that shoulder. There's a lot of lat activation that should be happening on it too. So yeah, we want to avoid that internal rotation. So yeah, it's an external, really locking that belly here and squeezing. We say we don't change the tune, we change the volume. So obviously, if it's a light kettlebell, I'm not going to have to crush this down. But usually, we teach it that way to feed forward that tension loop and everything too with our newer clients. A lot of people need to learn how to stabilize, and it really doesn't hurt anything to be extra tight. You say tight is right, so when in doubt, you squeeze that kettlebell. Pablo says, you radiate that tension all the way through, right? And you squeeze your arm hard, it's going to go up the biceps, it's going to go up the shoulder. And that's literally, you can look at the research of this too. When you squeeze hard, that rotator cuff is just going to cinch down. Everything's going to have to work to stabilize. So that's a really good point as well. And then that synergy between both sides, it's like that push, pull, boom, right? Throwing a punch or throwing our having game stone, shot put basically, right? So all that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that hand is rotated, and it's really easy. And so much about that sleepy lat kind of stuff too that they're not using. You know, with any pressing motion, right? That lat should be a big part of that press as well too.
Okay.
That chain.
Nice, definitely. And even when you went into the crossover right there, I think what flashed in my head was originally the stone events in the Highland Games, but baseball,
sure,
golf, any type of rotational sport right there, where working that type of block, left leg block, but also getting the hips into it. Just so much crossover right there.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, to reference that video, Michael really broke that down well with the golf swing and like that medicine ball throw too. I'll kind of show that again as well with that hip, or if I'm not in a good position, I'm just stuck here. Actually, the worst case, I'd be here, just throwing or hitting a golf ball like this, where we know we want to get the hip through to turn the foot. Since throwing a little bit different than the golf swing, just pretty more baseball swing as well. But we know we want the hip to lead and be that engine, right? We know that upper body's only going to get us so far. We've seen examples of some world-class bench pressers coming into Highland Games and not doing well with the stone throws, having kind of tight upper back things, and they just can't apply that force to that implement. So obviously from a health perspective, again, all the way through that continuum of performance, we need everything aligned well. And, you know, again, the get-up's just a nice, fun, can be used as a mobility warm-up. I have some stuff on my Facebook page and YouTube of me doing 5 minutes of just a get-up mobility warm-up in itself without any weight. Try doing a get-up with just a shoe or a yoga block. Own that first, and then again, all the way up to performance end of things. People get kind of freaky at the high end with guys like Levi Marquardt doing 200-pound get-ups, things like that, body weight type of get-ups, and that's pretty cool at that point. But I don't think it needs to be, brought to that extreme. The answers are usually kind of somewhere in the middle. But if nothing else, there's absolutely no risk or harm in just being good at that movement. Just sharpen the blade with body weight kind of stuff, or some light kettlebells as a warm-up, just to get everything sequencing well, and great part of my warm-ups on a regular basis kind of things.
Nice. I think that what you cleared up there with the Turkish Get-Up, just so much application, but also how people could implement it into a warm-up. So great stuff there.
Sure.
Great stuff. John, I want to thank you for coming on again today and talking about a great application for not just athletic performance, but general performance. So anybody can do these to improve daily function, which is important. Not just being able to apply it to sport, but being able to get through the day. John, thank you again. John Odin, owner of Empowered Strength in Bend, Oregon, good friend of mine and a great athlete.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you.